Back to college game night. We're going to talk some Oregon State football. I know they're on their bye week, so it feels a little bit off now talking about the Oregon State Beavers and, of course, the Oregon Ducks. But, Kenny, Oregon State's been really good this year. They're coming off their bye 6-1, 2 wins against top 25 ranked opponents, the last 2 in just the last couple of games. What do you think Oregon State has been doing right so far during this first half of play?
I mean, they're just a very complete team, and they're great in situational football. I think one of the first things I look at is their success in the red zone, an area where Oregon has struggled. I mean, they're 21 of 25 right now on converting red zone opportunities into touchdowns. They're 25 of 25 on getting points. You just see there, Damian Martinez in this run game. It's a really unique run game, right? Their ability to use wide zone and then traps and belly plays. Martinez has 22 runs of 10 yards or more. And then they've had Silas Bolden really develop into a receiver that they can rely on. It's helped DJ kind of in his time settle in a little bit more. It's allowed them to be more creative on the offensive end. And then, I mean, defensively, they're very opportunistic, right? They come up with a couple turnovers a game right now. They're good against the run, and a lot of bend but don't break.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good things, which is good, especially for Oregon State Beaver fans that have had a lot of years that maybe the team not doing so well. Again, let's give that defense a lot of credit, especially last week. Again, UCLA, I know the offense for the Bruins, not so good, but they needed to step up, and they did exactly just that at Reser Stadium. Now, of course, if you know Coach Smith, of course, you know Coach Lanning. They talk about some positives. They'll find 2 or 3 things going wrong with that team as well. What do you see that Oregon State really still needs to improve upon, especially heading down the stretch of these last couple of games of the regular season?
Yeah, for me, it's road games, specifically the defense on the road, right? So at home, they've basically been lights out. They're giving up 325 yards per game at home and only 4.4 yards per play when they're at home. Now, those numbers basically completely flip on the road. On the road, they're giving up 487 yards a game and 7.5 yards per play. And that is not going to get it done no matter where you go, right? And they have a very important road game at the end of their schedule, right? If they want to get into the Pac-12 title game, right, they got to go through Eugene, a team, right? You know, everybody knows about that rivalry, but they've got to kind of figure out the road defense.
And even these next couple of weeks, Arizona and Colorado winnable games, but the thing is, we've seen Arizona knock off against Washington State, a team that started off this season looking really, really good. So who knows what that's going to look like in Tucson. And here's the remainder of Oregon State's schedule. Beavs, of course, hit the road for the next 2 weeks. They first visit Tucson for a Pac-12 After Dark showdown against the Wildcats before heading to the land of the Buffaloes in Deion Sanders in Boulder, Colorado. Beavers, of course, back home for the next 2 weeks of the season. That should be at least a very winnable game against Stanford before welcoming in Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies the following week. And, of course, you already mentioned it, Kenny. The war that will end, or the Civil War, whatever you want to call it now these days. It's Oregon State to wrap up the season on that Friday. Kenny, from what you've seen, how do you see Oregon State finishing this season, realistically?
I don't do predictions, but here's the thing.
I'm putting you on the spot, though.
You know, you got to take care of Arizona and Colorado, but those are tough road games. I think you got to, you know, next week, that Arizona game, keep your eye on that. Arizona's really improving a lot, especially offensively. But those are 2 wins that you should get. You've really got, right? You've got the UW and the Oregon game circled if you're them, and we'll kind of see where it goes.
You know, I think this defense has talked about it, too. They're taking it 1 game at a time. They know if they lose 1 more, their shots of making it to that Pac-12 title game,
no, you're done.
Pretty much non-existent at that point.